With the economy the way it is, you want to save as much money as you can, and why not check your cupboards and see what you have before you go to the grocery store. Use pantry items combined with whatever vegetables and fruits you have in the refrigerator, and use up those leftovers. That really, really helps. And I don't know about you, but it's springtime. I want to get outside and enjoy the outdoors, so I want to make these meals as easy as possible. And I want to cook up more than one, put them in the refrigerator, and have them available for when we need them. First thing I'm looking at in the pantry closet are the russet potatoes that were purchased about 3 to 4 weeks ago. After picking through the potatoes, I found the softest ones that were slightly wrinkled. I need to peel those up and use them right away. A great dish that comes to mind, potato salad, and it's easier than you think. I'm just going to cook these potatoes until it reaches a boil, and I'll put it on simmer. And they're fork tender. It doesn't take much to make potato salad delicious. The dressing really does it. I like my eggs separate from salads. I'll eat it in salad to the side. And these potatoes are still hot. I'll mix all the veggies, but I'll reserve a little bit for the garnish on top. We're also going to use a little bit of ranch dressing. That will give it a good flavor, and a little bit of sour cream. Put the salt and pepper into the dressing, along with some dill weed. And you could do paprika if you like to, or a little hot sauce would be good. I'm just going to mix this up. I just want it to be kind of old school, but without the eggs. Put it in a pretty bowl for a nice presentation. Okay, I'm going to try to be very careful with the paprika and not put too much. Put the vegetables on top for a garnish. You can put green onion too if you like. This is an excellent dish to have in the refrigerator on busy days to eat with a sandwich or a meat entree. This is leftover pork roast from Aldi. If you cut it in thin slices, it's tender, and you microwave it. But just to eat it cold, it's not tender at all. Well, I want to make this more like shredded pork or pulled pork. I'm just going to pull at the pork a little bit as I'm cooking it. And it seems to be working. I have already cut it into strips, which really does help. Let's go ahead and put the barbecue sauce on this. This is pretty good and tender for him. So I'll show you how I'll present this. And here's the pulled pork. I pulled it the best I could, or I should say the sliced pork. It looks pretty good. It's very tender, has a very good flavor. The barbecue sauce I added is very good barbecue sauce. It comes from Aldi, original barbecue sauce. Berman's, very good flavor. And he has the option of making himself a sandwich. He has lettuce and tomato and some pickle there. He can doctor up his sandwich, or he can eat it the way it is. But this is the way I would present it for him, whether hot or cold, and let him figure it out himself. Because that's how the world is today. People pretty much come and go, and he does too at times. And sometimes we're on different schedules. But he's got some potato salad there this looks really, really good. Looks like a very good deli meal. Sometimes you need to put a meal together very quickly, and you don't have any meat thawed out from the freezer. You don't have any leftover meat in the refrigerator, so you need to turn to the cupboard and look at your canned goods. And as you can see, we have quite a bit of food in here. We're not hurting, let's just say. And look at this. This is exactly what I was looking for. It's not ground beef, but it will do, because we want to make beef enchiladas using a can of roast beef. And my husband has had this before, and he really enjoys it, so I know it's going to be a winner. This is quick and easy beef enchilada. I'm just using diced tomatoes mixed with a small can of tomato sauce. And I'm going to add my Mexican spices. I just combined a little cumin, a generous amount of chili powder, oregano, and garlic powder. If you're using fresh garlic, you need to chop it up, mince it, and then saute it with some oil like olive oil, and add the sauce and heat it up, along with chili powder and whatever spices you are using. But this shortcut saves a lot of time. I'm adding a little salt and pepper too. I don't need to add much because after you put everything together, it will be very flavorful. I have a sprayed baking dish. Add a little bit of the sauce mix just to coat the bottom. And place down your first layer of tortillas, and this size pan is a small square pan. It takes about 4 tortillas that overlap slightly. Then you add your beef. It can be shredded beef, it can be ground beef that's cooked, of course. And here I'm using canned roast beef for this enchilada. I just mix it in with the sauce. I'm taking the side of the spoon and breaking up the beef chunks into smaller pieces. You can do this ahead of time if you like, but this saves time just to do it in the bowl. I'm just going to shred some cheese very quickly here. And spread the beef and tomato mixture onto the first layer of tortillas, using between 1/3 and 1/2 of the total amount that you have in the bowl, depending on how many layers you want to create. Then we do a layer of cheese over top of that. Then you start the layering process all over again. It depends on how many layers you want to create, how much food do you have in your mix. I have enough just for 2 layers. I was hoping I had enough for 3, but I don't, because I want to use up these tortillas because they are outdated. The best sell date was April 6th of this year. I'm covering the dish with foil so that it will cook faster in the oven at 375 Fahrenheit. And I read that this will help the tortillas to soak up the good flavor from the sauce. This should speed up the cooking process, so we'll get it done faster. Now I'm adding some more cheese to the dish after it baked for 15 minutes. I want this to brown a little bit. We took the foil off and we're going to bake it in the oven for an additional 10 minutes. I almost felt like I didn't really need the aluminum foil, but it looks good. Yeah, it looks like almost looks like a lasagna, but this is a very quick and easy enchilada casserole. Looking in the pantry closet, we have sweet potatoes. We have a very large one here. 3 very large ones. This one doesn't look too good. I think I'll cut this one in half and roast it in the oven for my husband and I to go with a dinner that we're going to prepare. I washed and peeled the potato. I'm going to leave some of the peelings on. The peelings were really bad, but the potato is hard as a brick. So the potato is not bad. It's very edible. It just had some peelings that had some bad spots from the way that it grew in the ground. I'm poking them with a knife several times. This way they'll cook faster. I was going to put olive oil, but there's not much of the peeling left anyway, so I think I'll just bake these the way they are. We are baking the potatoes between 30 to 40 minutes. I may take the smaller ones out sooner, of course. For another side dish, healthy side dish at that, I'm going to steam some broccoli, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it to make it taste really good as soon as I take it from the steaming process. I decided to turn the temperature down on the potatoes. They took on a charred look right away. I didn't put any oil on them, remember? So I think 450 is just too high. We turned it down to 400 Fahrenheit. So this will take about 10 minutes longer than I expected, but that's fine. All right, out of the cupboard, I pulled some chicken breast, some canned chicken. We are going to make chicken patties. I'm just going to mix it in a bowl with beaten egg, a little dill weed, salt, pepper, crushed crackers. We're going to fry them into patties in avocado oil. First, I'm going to flake the chicken chunks into smaller pieces with a fork. This is very easy and it works out very well. Then we'll beat the egg into the mix. A little salt, a little pepper, and a little dill weed. For additional flavor, you can add chopped onion and a little garlic powder also. And for the cracker crumbs, I'm just going to crush them up in this little baggie like this. And mix in the cracker crumbs thoroughly. And if you have breadcrumbs, you can use them in place of the cracker crumbs. After the oil heats up in your skillet, you begin to fry your patties. I just do it like this. You hear it sizzle? Yep. I only used 8 crackers, but they will stay together. I use the same recipe to make tuna patties, except for I use canned tuna instead of canned chicken. Then I'll just pat them down. And you can use your hands to form these patties. It's probably easier, but messier. You form them just like you form hamburger patties. It's the same thing. These look like crab cakes, and they have the texture of crab cakes, but it's chicken. Okay, when they're brown on the bottom side, I'll turn them over. I'll just estimate 3 to 5 minutes on each side. There we go. That's how it's supposed to look right there. They're done. They didn't brown as evenly as I would have liked, but this is fine. My husband loves the very brown ones. And I like the ones that are, I like it. I'm not very picky. They don't have to be extremely brown. These are very delicate, like crab patties. You can add extra crackers if you want. I only used 8 crackers. You can use 10 or 12 if you like. And the broccoli is very well steamed. I'm going to put it into a bowl and mix it with avocado oil, garlic salt, and lemon. Just a little bit of lemon. And dinner is served. I put a little sour cream on my husband's sweet potato. Now we are using oatmeal to make a snack for busy mornings. We are making peanut butter oatmeal balls. So what we have, a cup of oats, half a cup of peanut butter, 1/4 cup of chocolate chips, 1/3 cup of honey, and a tablespoon of chia seeds, or you can use flax seeds. And if you want to throw protein powder in this, you can too. You'll have to check online for the exact measurement. These will be eaten for dessert and breakfast in the morning to give me a quick pick-me-up. So I'm just going to put all this together and put it in this bowl. Just mixing everything together in this bowl. Make sure you have that peanut butter mixed in with the oats and everything. I'm just going to use this little cookie scoop like that. All right, I'm going to put these in the freezer for 10 minutes. These peanut butter oatmeal balls were actually in the freezer for a lot longer than 10 minutes. I kind of forgot about them, but that's fine. And they hold together very well here. Now I'm going to put them in the refrigerator, and tomorrow I'll pull one out. You can eat them cold, or you can set them out and eat them lukewarm. Now I've got some pantry items I can use up to make 2 more meals. These can be side dishes, and one can be a dessert, believe it or not. The cornbread salad can be a complete meal. Now we've eaten this for days. We've eaten on this for like 4 to 5 days before. We eat it for lunch, might eat it for dinner, might eat it for a snack. So cornbread salad's one that I'm going to use. And I don't worry about not having like bell peppers, because I'll replace it with an unusual ingredient. You'll see what that is. And then also I have leftover marshmallows I don't know what to do with, and coconut flakes left over from Christmas. And these were in the pantry. And they're still good, coconut flakes. And I thought, why not make a delicious fruit salad that is mostly healthy, all except for the marshmallows. So I'll use pineapple in that along with some other fruit. So we're going to get started on this. I'm going to bake the cornbread first. This cornbread is just about the easiest thing to make. I've got an egg already in there with the Jiffy mix. 1/3 cup of milk. I've got it memorized. It's just super easy. Just mix it around. And I went ahead and greased the baking dish with me. I've got the cornbread batter in the pan and ready to bake. And I got this idea for baked beans. I'm just going to throw together very quickly. The way my husband likes it, at a high heat, caramelized, and with lots of onion. So I've got all the ingredients, as you can see, for baked beans. Just the traditional ingredients. And we have a couple cheddar brats that can go with this meal. So this is just a last-minute meal. Sometimes it's good to come up with last-minute meals. And the can of beans came from the pantry. All right, then. We've got about 20 minutes on that cornbread. The ambrosia salad is very easy. On the cornbread, I have to wait till it cools completely, practically, before I can use it for the cornbread salad. So we'll make the ambrosia salad ahead of time. It's just canned pineapple And I've got 2 little oranges here. I've got another orange I put aside, will be for the garnish. And I washed the grapes, I'm gonna cut them in half. Put the grapes in the bowl. We're gonna use almost all of the coconut. I'll reserve a little for the topping. Same with the marshmallows, almost all of the marshmallows. And they're not colored marshmallows. It's not a holiday or anything, but yeah, the colored marshmallows. That would have been a nice Easter dessert. That would have been amazing. And we're going to do sour cream, but you can use plain yogurt also. And I've got to reserve some of this sour cream for cornbread salad. So we got a little bit of that. And we're just going to put a little bit of lime juice. And I'm not following a recipe, but I'll refer a recipe to you. Honey, and I had reserved the liquid from the pineapple juice. Add a little bit of that because we'll start blending everything together here. We're going to pretty this up a little bit. Plenty of marshmallows. We used up those ingredients that we had from the holidays, the flake coconut and the marshmallows. I'm going to put the cornbread on a cooling rack. It's a good idea. If you're ever going to overbake cornbread, do it when you're getting ready to make cornbread salad because you want it to be very firm. We're going to mix everything in this bowl. I'm going to reserve some of the vegetables and or cheese for the topping. So to me, it makes more sense and saves time just to mix almost everything in the bowl. The dressing we have over here we just take what's left in this sour cream container, going to mix it with mayonnaise and ranch dressing. And a few other things. You could add a little hot sauce, a little salt and pepper, just to marry everything together. I had carrots and celery. Those were the ingredients that are a little unusual. It's replacing the typical bell pepper. I don't have any bell peppers. I'm using what I have. Used about 3/4 of the dressing. I'm going to save the remaining for the garnish, for the top. Yeah. I'm going to mix it together. This will save so much time when we're doing the layering process. That way we just layer the cornbread and the salad already dressed. Cornbread on the bottom. I'm using a container that I can have in the refrigerator and pull out easily. Okay, now I'm going to put some more cornbread. I try to keep some in pieces. I don't want it to be all crumbs. Now the cheese. And we're not done yet. Look at that. I got beautiful garnish here. That's why I reserved the tomatoes because they are pretty. And so are the green onion. All right then. Thanks for watching today. I hope I inspired you to cook from the pantry and use up those leftovers. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.